All right, so Jim, I want to show you, you talk about the beaches covered in snow, and you know the Gulf Coast beaches, the Emerald Coast, the Pensacola and Alabama and Mississippi, the sand is like sugar. You go and you're like, I've never seen sand so white until the snow falls on it. And then now it's a different deal. Let's take a look now. This gorgeous sand, and it's still beautiful. This is gorgeous sand. It has more of a kind of a cookie dough kind of look to it. It's a little bit more of a tan color. But I want to take you down here because as you're walking in the snow and the sand, the beach sand, which doesn't happen a lot, you get closer to the water's edge, and what happens is, if you've ever been to the Gulf Coast, the colors are absolutely gem-like, the Emerald Coast, right? So the colors have that aqua green marine look here. And as you get down closer to the water, you start to see some of those colors. And it is getting a little bit darker right now. It's only been snowing for about 45 minutes to an hour. As hard as it is right now for about 35, 40 minutes. But you come down, it's getting a little darker, so it's not as obvious. But all the way down here, there's the beautiful green and the blue colors that is just such a crown jewel here along the Gulf Coast. And then all the way down and watching snow falling on seashells right there. Seashells with snow. And then if we look up at the water, and Brad, if you go all the way out there, I think it's got that fuzzy kind of look, and it looks like sea smoke or steam, essentially, coming off of the Gulf waters here. Remember, it's all relative with the temperature, the cold air, and the relatively warm waters. I mean, this time of year, this could be a scene in Buffalo, but it's not. It's here in Panama City Beach, and this is the pier. Brad, if we come over here, this is just another kind of unique look. Again, just you come right here and we're at the beach and it's snowing and there's a lot of it right here. And then Brad, the same look. If you go down here right underneath the pier, you can kind of see the smoke, the steam coming from right to left, as so are the snowflakes right now. You see how it gets kind of fuzzy? It's completely white and bright at the very end, almost like a doorway out there to the mysterious Gulf, the cold and snowy Gulf right now, but a little bit of steam here at the surface. Again, if you've ever been here to Panama City Beach, probably haven't been here when it was 29 degrees. And if you have, maybe you stayed in one of these high rises along the beach. Something, gosh, I tell you what, I never thought, Bettis, that would be seeing a scene like this anytime soon. It's something that people likely not going to be seeing anytime soon. At least, if you're playing the odds, it's not likely. And as, awe-inspiring as it is right now, and people are coming out and watching, there absolutely will be a serious side to this. And that, of course, is the fact that it is going to be a hard freeze, and temperatures are going to be dropping down well into the lower 20s, teens in some areas. It's going to feel like single digits depending on how strong the wind is blowing. And they don't have a ton of winter removal equipment. Very little. Here's the irony as it's about to come out of my mouth. I'll call it dirt. I don't want to say the other word where I'm standing right now because it seems a little odd. But they don't have a lot of, stuff to treat the roads with. So you've got the dirt and the salt. And what they'll do is they'll kind of see how it goes. But a lot of the strategy through a lot of this area is you just got to have to let it melt. And part of the problem, like in the Northeast, like we were in Philadelphia yesterday, and Mike, we know that when it's treated and cars are driving on it, the roads can get wet and they can get cleaned pretty good. Here it's the opposite. The cars driving on the snow compact the snow, and when that happens, it just turns into ice and it just lingers that much longer.
Chris, I wanted to ask you, because it looks like a heavier band is about to move in to where you are. What's the consistency of the snow? Are you getting any snow that's mixing with sleet, or is it all snow right now?
No, there is some mixing, absolutely. And this guy right here, the right cheek, can tell you that. We're underneath the pier right now, so somewhat protected, but it still feels like it has kind of let up for a moment. And Mike, you said that there's a little bit heavier band right now that's going to come. And I saw this earlier. If you look down the coast, you can see how it gets fuzzier faster, right? So you see some of the taller buildings out there, some of the high-rise hotels or condos, and you see how it kind of gets fuzzy. So that's to the west, and that's also in the direction where Florida likely broke its 24-hour state snowfall record of more than 5 inches. Of course, all the numbers will have to be official, and we'll have to see how it all comes in. And we have to wait till the snow stops here. But people coming out with their dogs, just checking out the Gulf here, and you see that fuzzy line out there. That could be that heavier snow band that you're talking about. But these snowflakes, just here in the past couple of moments, Mike, the snowflakes have gotten larger. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's what's moving in right now, some of the heavier snow. But it really came down in a burst. Roads starting to get covered. And as you can see here, Panama City Beach is snow.
It's amazing, right? I think it's such a unique event. That's why people want to be out and take it in, right? Because it just doesn't happen every day. And I wanted to ask you about, like, what's the city like right now? Have you noticed that there have been a lot of people out, or is this really one of those circumstances where people are like, I'm not going out in that, I'm off the roads, this is no fun?
Well, you walk around town and restaurants and businesses closed. You know, it's also the low season, but they have the signs up saying that for their employees' sake, closing down. Also, another consideration, there's a lot of water surrounding Panama City Beach, whether it's the inland waterway, some of the bays. So there's a few bridges, and it looks like it's not an if, but when those bridges ice over, they're likely to close. Now, DOT, they don't make a call like they do with a certain wind in a hurricane. This is more of if it's safe or not. Does it look like it's going to be not passable here? So once the bridges start going, people, you know, if they work a little bit farther outside from where we are here, Mike, it's going to be, you're not going home. You're staying here because we can essentially end up being locked kind of like an island.
Really, really valid point about the overpasses.